confusion, which is okay. This is your second example here. So, people are having questions about what we're multiplying by and what we're getting rid of and all that sort of stuff. Okay. When we're doing this, what you have to look at this and decide what equation, what variable you want to get rid of. You can get rid of x, you can get rid of y. In this case, I'm 100% going to choose y because I have 1 plus 1 minus. What you want to have happen if you go back to this one, remember this is called elimination. So you wanted to have 1 is a positive 10, 1 is a negative 10, so you can add 10 minus 10 and get nothing. Okay, right? So if you choose x, you'd have to multiply something by a negative, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So since one's already a plus and one's already a minus, that's the one I'm going to get rid of instantly. Right? So looking at this one, I call this one number 1, and this one number 2. Okay, Nick, I'm going to pick on you at the back here because you had a good comment here for multiplying. What are we going to multiply the first one by, and what are we going to multiply the second one by? Yeah. By anything. You can call it by 1 if you want to, or by nothing, okay? Now, so what that's going to give us, that's going to turn this into negative 2y, and the second will stay as positive 2y. Then when one's a plus and one's a minus, they're just going to be opposites of each other. If you chose to get rid of the x's, we'll do that on the next example, okay, where there's one that everything's a plus, okay? Because if you were just to multiply the first one by 3 and the second one by 2, you'd have plus 6x and plus 6x, and 6x and 6x, this doesn't equal 0, right? It equals 12, so that's going to give us a problem, okay? So y is probably the one for this one you're going to choose. Okay, so I'll put the line here. That changes this to 4x minus 2y equals negative 14, and 3x plus 2y equals 7. All right, can somebody please tell me, looking at this, why I know this is good? Why is this good? Hannah, go ahead.
Use it to minus 2 is nothing.
Good. Right on. Okay, right? You have a positive and a negative of the same number. That's what you should be aiming for here after your first set of steps here, right? A plus and a minus are the same thing. Okay. Is everyone clear on what we're trying to do here? Because this is fundamentally what, like, this is the big picture here. After one set of multiplications, you have a positive and a negative there, so that, again, when we add them, we can just finish up here. Okay, please be brave, all right? So today's just algebra. Tomorrow I said we're going to get to word problems like this. Okay, so today's just algebra. So what I did there was, to make sure everyone knows why I got that, I decided, go please, I decided north-south, so 4x plus 3x is 7x, negative 2y plus 2y is nothing, and then negative 14 plus 7 is negative 7. I'm going to pause the video for 1 sec, and I want everyone to close their eyes, put their heads on their desks. I still have to get my y. You can sub into either equation. I'm probably going to choose number 2 here, only because everything's positive and I have positive numbers. Okay, so I'm going to sub x equals negative 1 into 2. So that changes to 3 bracket negative 1. You guys, can you please? 3 negative 1 plus 2y is 7. I'm going through this fairly quickly, I know. But don't worry, you guys are going to get another chance to do one of these. Okay, so that was me going at 100 miles an hour. Okay, for that. Okay, at the end. Yeah, question?
So it doesn't really matter if you sub it into 1 or 2?
No, either one will work. I just chose number 2 because it was a positive and a positive. Right, now remember what we're trying to do here. We have 2 lines. We're trying to find the intersection. So whether I use this line or this line, they should still cross at the same point, right? So either one's okay. Aiden, how you doing? Aiden, how you doing? Sorry. Okay, I'm going to throw up one more like this for you guys to try to make sure. I want to make sure that most people have a really good understanding of this. The numbers are going to be bigger this time, but you guys can do it. Have self-confidence. Here we go. I'm hoping this one's right this time. Example 3 says 3x plus 2y equals 22. 5x minus 4y equals 22. Now, okay, if you see this on your test, I don't tell you what to use. What about this question tells me that I'm going to use elimination guaranteed? on this one? Why am I 100% going to use elimination? Do I ask you? No. Positive and negative, yes, is one good thing. But if I look at this, why else would I want, why is this going to be difficult substitution? Okay, yes, but yeah, go ahead, Alice.
Because in each set of this equation, there's an odd and even.
Right on. Like 3 and 2 don't go together. That's a fraction guaranteed, okay? 5 and 4 don't go together, right? So, but I like the way you're saying there's a positive and negative. Last numbers are the same. But if you're going to try and isolate X or Y here, it's going to be a mess, right? But with this method, it should be okay. Take a minute, try it yourselves right now, okay? And I'll give you a second to do this, and then we'll go on to something a little bit more awesome after this. Okay, so let's go for this one here now. There was an interesting discussion between Noah and Aiden on this question. Okay, so I'm just explaining what their disagreement was. Okay, they both thought they were right and they both were. Okay, but they both had different answers. Okay, Noah, do you want to explain what you were trying to do for this one?
I tried to multiply the top one by 2 and the bottom one by 1.
Okay, so Noah multiplied, I'll just explain what he said. So he said multiply the first one by 2 and the bottom one by 1. Can someone explain why that's okay? What would that do? Hannah, go ahead. Yeah, because 2 times 2 would give you 4y, and the bottom would give you negative 4y. Aiden, what do you want to multiply by?
I times the bottom one by 2 and the top one by 4.
Yeah, okay, so what he did was he looked at this, he just multiplied by the y values and he got the same number. Okay, so either one of those ways will work, and they'll both give you the same number. There was quite a disagreement though, a little bit heated. Okay, right, but we made it through, okay, both okay. On the board, just to be easy, I'm going to multiply by 4 and 2. Okay, if you wanted to multiply by 1 and 2, you'll still get the same answer. But I'm going to choose to multiply by 4 and this one by 2. The only reason I'm doing this one is because this will always work. This method will always work. You don't need to worry about LCD. If you choose to do it Noah's way, that's fine. It'll still work. We have no issue. Okay, but that's fine. Could someone please get out their calculator for me, please? And multiply everything by 4 in the top row. All right, good, lovely, good. 12x plus 8y equals 88. Now, okay, you have to multiply, and this is what when I was walking around that 2 or 3 people didn't have this, something like that down. You have to multiply each term by 4, the entire row. Okay, now the reason for that is because these have to be equivalent. If I were to divide this by 4, you get the same number, right? So you can do the whole thing. Can I get this, someone else to multiply the whole second row by 2?
10.
Good. 10x, good. Good. And 44. Okay, now looking at this one, how do I know this is set up properly? I have an 8 and a negative 8. Now, I'm just making a big point with this because you should be able to visually look at your question and say, yeah, I got it. This is perfect. I know it is. Okay, Lindsay, since you've been so quiet today, can you please tell me what 12x plus 10x is?
22x.
And then equals? I'll shoot a different way. That's okay.
Do you add those?
Yeah. So the question was, hold on a second, please. The question was, do we add them? Yeah, we're just adding straight downwards, okay? So, yeah, and the thing is, the reason is if you're to subtract, this wouldn't be 0, right? So you have to make sure that you're adding it to cancel it. Okay, Lindsay, you're not done. QD 132 divided by 22 for me, please. 6, great. Okay. Now, the thing I like about this, there's no fractions again. Think of the way this would have been. Okay, it would have been a mess to solve this with fractions. Okay, this is beautiful, nice and easy. All right. I still will make you do some, not with fraction, with substitution. We'll have to make y equals. Okay, right. But a question like this would be for warm-up. What we're going to do is our next example. Okay, right. You can see how much each of this would be with our new method. Right. Okay, I'm going to find my y value now. I'm going to say to get y, I'm going to sub it in the first equation. So it's going to be 3 bracket 6 plus 2y equals 22. 18 plus 2y is 22. 2y is 22 minus 18. 2y equals 4 divided by 2 divided by 2 equals 2. Okay. No, I'm going to pick on you, one, because you're giggling. Secondly, did you get that same answer even with your way?
Yeah.
Lovely. Okay, right? So even if you multiply by 1 and 2, Or if you multiply it by 4 and 2, again, you'll still get the same answer, right? As long as the y values are identical, but opposite on the second step. Molly, how are you feeling? Good. Okay. I'm going to do one more that's a slight bit more complicated now. That's pretty good, please. I'm going to do one that's a slight bit more complicated, and that's going to be our warm-up. It's going to be example 4. Now, we already know that the answer works out nicely, but this one's a little bit more difficult than the last question here. So I'm going to call this one, I'm going to say solve using elimination. This one says 3x plus 4y equals negative 6, and 4x plus 5y equals negative 7. Now, if you remember we did this on our warm-up, there was fractions all over the place, and it was yucky. Okay, the answers still work out being nicely, but it didn't work out as well. What makes this one a slight bit more challenging than the previous two? Bailey, go ahead. Good, there's no opposite, like everything's a positive. Can somebody give me a suggestion for how I might deal with that? No, go ahead.
Multiply 1 by negative.
Right on. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to pick one of them. We're going to say, thank you, good, very good. So there's 1 and there's 2. So we're going to say, since all are positive, we multiply one equation by a negative. And you can do either one, it doesn't matter. Okay? I'm going to pick on Luke since he's in the basketball team. Luke, what equation do you want to multiply by negative, number 1 or number 2?
1.
1. Okay? So Luke, instead of what are we going to multiply the whole entire equation by? What? What variable do I get rid of x or y first of all?
Y.
Y? Okay, sounds good. So what do you multiply the first equation by then?
Negative 5.
Very good. Okay, right? So instead of multiplying it by 5, like it says, we're going to multiply it by negative 5, so we end up with opposites. Yeah?
What if we multiplied it by 5 and the bottom one by negative?
That one would have worked as well, too. Either way would work the same way, and that's good. You already told me this, so thank you. That's Spencer. As long as one's a negative, so on your next step, you're going to have one set of negatives, one set of positives. You guys want to try this one out? You guys finish this one up here, okay? And then we'll give you guys one in a little bit try.